What is the most important upgrade you would make sure you've done to your kitchen?
If you want to give value to the house, obviously it's kitchen and bathroom the first. That is always the case.
When we find an outdated kitchen that clearly needs work, there's two types of buyers. There's some that see it as a deal breaker, and there's some that see it as an opportunity.
I started now it's 10 years ago, like a simple designer, and after 3 years I have kind of upgrades, and I changed like a manager for the showroom.
What sort of budgets do you cater for?
Everybody is different. Everybody come with different budgets at the end. But if you go for meal, obviously you go another step.
So before too long, you'll probably be able to cook on the worktop.
That's on another point.
Really?
Yeah.
How long does a typical renovation take?
Also, the thing is, when people come here to buy a property, is to enjoy the weather, to eat outside, chiringuito.
Is there any kind of permits or legal requirements that owners need to think about when renovating their kitchen? What would you say to buyers that are interested in a property but the kitchen is outdated and old and needs work?
That is the starting point for us to work for the clients.
Hi, Keith here from Target Property Spain. So today, as part of our deep dive series, I'm joined by Jeremy Fernandez from Cocinas Plus, and we're going to be talking about how smart kitchen upgrades can really add value to your home. Jeremy, welcome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you to invite me, Keith.
So maybe to get started, you can tell us a little bit about yourself and Cocinas Plus.
Okay, so Cocinas Plus, so it's a business selling kitchen. We have two shops actually, one in La Cala, another one in Marbella. We have different sellers from different countries. So that is one of the points doing the difference with the other company doing kitchens. Cocinas Plus is making kitchen during now, I think they are started in 1998. Okay. So it's a long-term experience.
Yeah, you've certainly been here as long as I've been here. So how did you yourself get involved in the kitchen industry?
I was working before during 9 years in Leroy Merlin. A bit tired of the politics of the Leroy system and everything, so I was thinking to change, and I pushed the door of Cocinas Plus. I was actually lucky because they was looking for a French speaker, and I started like that. I started now it's 10 years ago, like a simple designer, and after 3 years I have kind of upgrades, and I changed like a manager for the showroom.
What would you say when an expat comes to Mijas Costa or the Costa del Sol? What do you think surprises them most about the traditional Spanish kitchen compared to what they're used to at home?
In the area where we are, there are a lot of properties, a lot. Everything is not open, walls everywhere, tiles everywhere. It's quite antique in a way. So when they want to change the kitchen, they remove obviously all that kind of things, new floor, new tiles and everything. But the thing is that it's the old style. When they go to a property to buy, they would see like an old style kitchen. Also, the typical arch to pass through all the plates and everything.
Serving house.
Yeah. That is not typical for them.
Yeah, we find, not necessarily with big luxury villas, but certainly with houses and apartments. In the UK, for example, people are used to having big kitchens. It's the centerpiece of the home. It's where you eat, cook, meet as a family. It's where you group.
Yeah.
And not so much with smaller properties in Spain because of the climate. We tend to eat outside. So for me, that's a big difference that people tend to remark on.
It is different. The thing is, when people come here to buy property, obviously the first thing they will change is kitchen and bathroom because they are quite old. They want something new. They want to feel a bit like a home, like you say previously in UK, big kitchen. People from Scandinavia as well, it's open plan kitchen. So they try to recreate that kind of thing. In Spain, and more particularly here in Costa del Sol, you spend more time outside than inside. Everything depends on the client at the end, what he wants to do with the property.
In terms of when we are selling property, you're absolutely right. Kitchens and bathrooms are probably the two most important things that people look for. And when we find an outdated kitchen that clearly needs work, there's two types of buyers. There's some that see it as a deal breaker, and there's some that see it as an opportunity. So what would you say to buyers that are interested in a property, but the kitchen is outdated and old and needs work?
That is the starting point for us to work for the clients, because we give him some option. Obviously, he see a kitchen as it is. He maybe doesn't have the imagination to create something we have. So we are here to help him. What I will say to a client is, look at the kitchen and look at my computer. That is what you can have for your kitchen. And that is creating value for your house as well. So that will be the answer at the end. When you do new kitchen, new bathroom, you give a new value to your house.
How long does a typical renovation take here in the Costa del Sol?
The first thing is, so we remove the kitchen, then you have all the building team coming. All depend on what you want to do. But if we centralize in a kitchen, just a kitchen, not the bathroom, floor, living room or whatever, and windows, renovation, it's about 3 weeks, between 2 and 3 weeks for the kitchen and 10 working days for the kitchen.
Wow.
So you have to count with 1 month without kitchen.
Okay. So you'll be cooking on the barbecue for...
Yeah, we have the weather for that anyway.
A concern for a lot of our buyers is that a lot of our clients are holiday homeowners or second homeowners, so they're not always here. So how do you handle projects for people if they're not actually here? If you're enjoying this video, please don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and ring that notification bell to get updates each and every time we post new content. Let's get back to it.
So actually, we have technically in both shops we have a safe for the keys. That's good for you. You're talking about keys because actually maybe between 60-65% of the client, they are not here when we do the kitchen, but they trust us. So it's a trust relationship as well. We keep the keys. We give that to the team we work with for the building work. Then we are confident, so we give the keys to the fitter, then the plumber, that, the other. So we send some video, some picture to the end client as well. So he can follow the job as well. So that is I think it's a very important point to have a trust relation with the client. He can give you the keys of his own home. Sure. We take care of everything, and when you come, everything is finished, ready to cook.
Sure. I mean, it's all about relationships and trust, isn't it? So what kind of trends are you seeing at the moment in the Costa del Sol? Is there anything that really stands out?
It's open plan kitchen. That's for sure.
No surprises.
And when people buy a property, they want to open up everything, more lights, more bright, more space to walk around as well. Create a nice island, open plan the view to the sea or whatever, because we're on the coast. So most of the people, they want to open, either cook and they have the view to the sea or to the living room. They can share a drink with the friends. Or, that is what the people want to do. Now, regarding colors and materials, white is always a good option.
Yeah. Because
white, you can put whatever you want with white. You can have a red toaster, a green sofa. It always match. Sand is also coming very, very strong. So light color, really, light color.
So light, neutral colors?
Yes, neutral color. To match with everything, because as I said previously, if it's open plan kitchen, you have to match the kitchen with the rest of the furniture you have.
Sure.
So you cannot have a green kitchen and a red sofa. It's depends. You cannot test the client at the end.
I've seen some crazy things in my 22 years here.
But most of the time, they try to go for neutral color to match with the rest of the house.
What would you say are the most common mistakes you see people making when they renovate kitchens?
Regarding mistake, for me, it's not mistake at the end, because we are here to help them to create the kitchen. And we have a lot of foreigners here, people from Holland, people from Sweden, from France. So they use the kitchen and they cook differently.
Yeah.
So you have to give the right option for the right people. So for me, it's not mistake. It's just how they want to use it.
Yeah. Okay.
How they feel comfortable.
So different cooking styles will lend themselves to different kitchen designs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, when we did our kitchen, probably the biggest mistake I made is we had handleless cabinets that open with a lip in the top. Yeah, you know what I'm going to say. I think every morning I'm wiping crumbs out of that little lip where you put your fingers in.
I can come and measure for you.
Okay, I'm sure. What sort of budgets do you cater for? I mean, Cocinas Plus, I always saw it as ultra high end, but it's not necessarily, is it?
Everything depends on what you mean with cheap. As I said previously, everybody is different. Everybody comes with different budgets at the end. We are not the cheapest one. That's true, but we are not the highest one. Mm-hmm. We are like mid-height range. We have two different brands. One is the mid-height range and another one which is high-height range. Because today we have clients coming with a serious budget. They want something different, okay? So we have to give the option for that client as well. But a typical client who want to renovate the house just because they want to rent it for summer or whatever, we can do it as well. Obviously, price of a kitchen depends on 3 groups. Mm-hmm. The first one is the doors. It's not the same price if you go for laminate door or if you want for lacquered door or you go for a molding cottage style. The second point is the worktop. It's not the same price if you go for laminate worktop or stone or granite or porcelain, a different option. And the last one is the appliances. If you go for Teca, Balai, which is good, but if you go for Miele, obviously you go another step. And when you mix all that kind of information, point 1, point 4, point 2, and point 3, you have a budget.
So you've got cabinets, you've got appliances, and you've got worktops.
Yes.
Okay, so for somebody that hasn't got, let's say, an unlimited budget, are those the main 3 upgrades they should be really looking at? Appliances, worktops, and cabinets?
You can play around. I have many people that doesn't want to spend a fortune, so we go for laminate worktop, laminate door, and let's say Bala appliances, and you have a reasonable kitchen, a good quality kitchen, good looking. You can make a good look for cheap. You can do it. Today, 90% of what we do, it's handleless kitchen. So that is modern, that looks nice. But obviously, if you put melee with that and ceramic worktop, it looks totally different.
Yeah.
The one with the laminate as well and laminate door looks okay, but it's not the same. So it depends where you want to go at the end.
I mean, I'm sure you'd agree, the taste of the local Spanish community tends to differ, not just with kitchens, but throughout the property with expat and holiday home buyers. I mean, the Spanish, they're used to the heat and they want to hide from the heat. So they like small windows, persiennas, the blinds down, quite bold colours sometimes inside. Whereas expats tend to be the opposite. They want as much light in as possible and neutral colours. In terms of kitchens, what are the biggest differences between what a typical Spanish family will ask for and an expat buyer?
I'm French and my wife, she's Spanish. So we have different point of view for the kitchen. Actually, I just bought a property and I have to renovate the kitchen. I will do it in summer. And we have different point of view regarding that because Spanish people, like my wife, for example, they fry a lot.
They fry a lot. They do.
That's the way they cook. So they cannot have an open plan kitchen if you fry because of the smell, because of the grease, because of the smoke, the ambient. So they need to enclose everything to keep it into the kitchen. People from France, from UK or other countries, they have a different point of view regarding to cook. Also, the thing is, when people come here to buy a property, is to enjoy the weather, to eat outside, chiringuito, which is, the point we have on Costa del Sol. So they are not frying, they're not coming here to fry, to do a big paella or what. Yeah, they go for paella outside. So they open the kitchen, they can cook, they fry an egg, they do small things, so it doesn't care about, to have the smell or whatever.
It's a good point. I guess it depends on how much you're using the property, because people buying a holiday home that may use it for a week here and a week there, they might cook a bit of breakfast or maybe do a pizza one night. They're going to eat out all the time. Are there any materials and appliances that are particularly popular with expat buyers? So, the Brits, the Germans, the Scandinavians, what are they looking for at the moment?
Each country has its brand preference for appliances. Let's say, for instance, Norwegian, Swedish, Finnish people, they know a lot. AEG, Electrolux, for example, is very popular there. German, Bosch, Siemens. From the UK, I think they have a lot of Zanussi, Cooper Bush as well. They know quite a lot. Every country has its specificity. Regarding brand for appliances. Regarding the worktop, as I said previously, everything depends on the budget at the end and what they want to have. If they come to rent the apartment, they will go maybe for laminate, and if it's their own house they have, they go for a proper ceramic worktop, which is the best option you can have for a kitchen today. So,
in terms of the actual work, is there any kind of permits or legal requirements that owners need to think about when renovating their kitchen?
So that depends what you will do in the house. If, let's say, for instance, you just replace unit per unit, you are not changing nothing regarding electricity, not moving the plumbing, you don't need nothing at all.
Nothing
at all. If you have to change to bring the plumbing this position to the other one, and you have to replace the floor and knock down the wall, obviously, yes, license for a town hall for that.
Okay, so for that you need to go apply for the license for the town hall. And do you look after that for the clients?
So we recommend, they're not part of Cocinas Plus, but we recommend 2 building works company that do a very good job, and obviously do all that kind of paperwork for the client at the end.
So let's look into the future. Let's say somebody's looking to renovate their kitchen, but they want it to last and still be modern and popular, say 5-10 years down the line. What sort of trends do you think are going to be popular looking forward?
Regarding 5-10 years, as I said previously, white will be always white, sand color always works. worktops, marble-ish effect with the veneer on it, like a white and grey or white and gold always works. Yes, I think that will be and obviously more and more and more open plan kitchen with island. This is what clients want. And an island, you can have a breakfast bar. So when you have people coming into the house or even with your family, you are in the kitchen, you cook, you have your wine fridge in the island, you put a bottle on top, you share it with the people. That is what they want.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's interesting for us is I think people are now a lot more smart aware. So, for example, as we know, we have to have an energy efficiency certificate to sell a property here.
Yeah.
People never used to care what rating it was. But certainly in the last 12, 18 months or so, people are now asking more and more, what is the energy efficiency of this property? Solar panels are more and more important nowadays. Is there any smart technology that you've seen with kitchens that people are interested in?
That is also a good point, because I think in the future people will look more and more that efficiency for appliances. People ask for, not everybody, but more and more every day they're asking for to have an A or a B or a C. You have to think a fridge, for example. A fridge is plugged in your house 24 hours per day, every single day. And that spends a lot of money. And electricity in Spain is not cheap.
Yep.
So you have to look after that as well. So they are looking step by step a bit more. Regarding for the future, and this is a funny story, because we've been in Germany last September to see the new collection for 2026, and there was actually presenting something very new, not for this year, but coming maybe for 2027. So into the worktop, you have like a technology in different places of the worktop. You can have, let's say, for instance, a coffee machine. So if you put your coffee machine on this right place in the worktop, okay, you don't need any plug. It's working like an induction system.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Just on the
just on the worktop. Yeah, it's just on the worktop. You can put also your phone on top of the worktop and it's charging.
Oh, wow.
That is new. It's not allowed for now, but it will come very soon. And I think 2027 we can start to say that kind of things.
So before too long, you'll probably be able to cook on the worktop.
That's on another point.
Really?
Yeah. You have it already. It's not that popular, but it's coming more and more every day. People are asking for that. Let's say, for instance, you have your worktop. You have the children doing the work, the breakfast bar, and they are doing the homework on the worktop. And 5 minutes after, you can cook in the same place.
Really?
Yeah. You don't have nothing at all on the worktop. You can't see nothing at all.
So there's no hob?
No hob at all. It's just the same as the table we are now. So we just have a little sign here, and little one here. You know exactly where you can put your pot and pan. Put it here. You have into the drawer, you have some kind of remote to control that. And you cook, you finish, everything is clean, and everything looks the same.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
Do you have a favourite project? I mean, you've worked on hundreds and thousands of projects,
yes.
I guess, but is there one that particularly stands out?
I have two in mind. One in Marbella and another one we have made with a big table in wood with our carpenter in La Cala, near to our showroom, actually. The one in Marbella, it was a nice one. It's a big kitchen in walnut colour with a big island, and at the back you have all the tall cabinet with the American refrigerator. But the point is, because it was obviously open plan kitchen, between the kitchen and the living room, you had a fireplace, okay? Height level, square, rectangular, very modern, and we built around some structure with units, the glass, dark smoke glass, the lighting inside, that is potent, it was beautiful, it was beautiful.
Let's say, for example, you had a property to sell, you wanted to sell your property. Mm-hmm. What is the most important upgrade you would make sure you've done to your kitchen before you put your property on the market?
If you want to give value to the house, obviously it's kitchen and bathroom the first. That is always the case. Open plan kitchen is the best, again, if you want to sell a kitchen, because it makes it brighter, more space. If you go for height, quality of appliances is something you see lyrically. A nice oven, a nice wine fridge, for example.
It's something that the wives always pick up on scratch.
Yeah. The wine is more for the husband than the wine, and the oven for the wife. It's something making the difference in the kitchen to look it modern. But if you go for ballet, for example, which is nice, nothing wrong with it. But if you show a ballet oven and a Miele oven, it's different. You feel if the client has installed Miele, it's because he has
spent a lot of money on the rest.
He has spent the rest of the kitchen money and the worktop on the carcass and everything. So it's a good value for kitchen, actually.
The key takeaway is that a kitchen isn't just a place to cook or just about looks, but it's something that can genuinely change the perception of a property's value and add to your lifestyle here on the Costa del Sol. Jeremy, thank you very much for joining us today. No doubt I'll be down with some clients in the not too distant future. And if you want more honest advice, please don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.